welcome to what is potentially a very exciting week. If you've been keeping up with the vlogs, you'll know that I've recently been applying for jobs in Sydney, and it's been a long road to say the least, and there's been a lot of ups and downs over the weeks, but this week feels particularly momentous, I guess, because I potentially have 3 interviews. I definitely have one this morning, and I've potentially got 2 others later on in the week. They just haven't been scheduled in yet, which kind of stresses me out a bit, but it's fine. So the role that I'm definitely interviewing for this morning is actually an unpaid internship, which isn't ideal. I would obviously prefer to be paid, but it's a super cool company. It's a communications agency. So they do PR, they do brand activation, and they also do social media marketing, which is what my role would be in. And they have some super cool clients. So even though it's unpaid, I just think the experience of working there would be so cool, and it would help me build up connections and experience that would hopefully then aid me in finding a paid role afterwards. So yeah, I'm heading into their office this morning to have a chat with them. And then the other 2 roles that haven't been scheduled yet for interviews, but I know I do have an interview for, are a paid internship doing an in-house marketing role, and then a social media exec position at another communications agency. Okay, I'm ready to go. I'm feeling kind of nervous now. I wasn't feeling nervous at all prior to this, but all of a sudden the adrenaline has hit me. This is what I'm wearing. You will have seen this if you watched last week's vlog, because I bought this outfit in the vlog. It's the single workwear outfit that I currently own. So just a kind of structured white t-shirt, some wide leg black trousers, and my Sambas. And I realized that I don't have an appropriate bag to go with this outfit, so I'm just gonna have to bring my tote bag, which I feel like kind of detracts from the look because this tote bag is so dirty. It's got coffee stains on the bottom of it, but don't really have any other choice, and I want to bring my laptop with me in case I need it for whatever reason. So yeah, this is just gonna have to do. I do just want to quickly say that on the whole, I do not support unpaid work. I do think interns should be paid, and I'm in a very lucky and fortunate position here where I do earn money from social media, so I can justify having an unpaid position on the side just for the experience and because I like the company. But on the whole, of course, you should be paid for your work. I'm absolutely sweating buckets. It's so hot today, and it's also about to chuck it down, but I think that went so well. It was super chill, like it didn't feel high pressure or anything at all. The chat was super natural, and they've actually invited me for a paid trial shift next Monday, and paid because I thought, you know what, you don't get if you don't ask. Is that the phrase? So I asked about payment, and they said that because of my experience, they would actually be willing to potentially make it a paid role. So yeah, super exciting. And they literally emailed me about the trial shift before I even got home. So I think that's definitely a good sign. I'm in a bit of a rush, so please excuse the fact that I'm a bit all over the place, but I realised that I haven't really filmed a lot today, so I thought I'd give you a little update on what I've been up to. Saying that, it hasn't really been a lot. I did another job application this afternoon, and whilst I was in the supermarket grabbing some bits, I also got an email through inviting me for a phone interview with another company, and that was a social producer position that I actually applied to in last week's vlog. I didn't really talk about it, but it was in one of the montage clips. It was when I was at a cafe. That's the role that I was applying for, and yeah, I've got to the first stage of that recruitment process, so that's very exciting. That should be a phone interview either tomorrow or Thursday. Now I'm heading off to meet my friend Mark for dinner because he's in Sydney at the moment and leaves tomorrow, so gonna see him for a last dinner, which should be nice. Tuesday today, and I actually have no plans for today. No interviews have been scheduled. I was potentially going to have that phone interview, but that's been moved to Thursday now instead, and I still haven't heard anything about the other two, so I've got a free day basically and no plans. So I'm gonna go and do the Spit to Manly coastal walk with Pippa and Ben, which should be nice, although the weather has been so sporadic the last 2 days. Yesterday, I think it was actually the worst weather that I've witnessed in Sydney so far. It was an awful thunderstorm, and today it's just sort of overcast and gloomy, but at least it's not raining. Wednesday today, and I don't really have much of an update on the job front today. Haven't got any interviews or anything scheduled, so instead I've been focusing on the whole apartment rental situation, because we're in this apartment until the end of March, but that's actually not that long. It's about 4 weeks or something till we need to move out, and essentially there is a rental crisis in Sydney at the moment, meaning it's very difficult to find apartments and get accepted for them, especially as people that are not Australian citizens, are not formally employed in Australia yet, have no rental history in Australia. So even though we've still got 4 weeks, I thought actually I'm gonna get started on this sooner rather than later, because there's a lot of paperwork that we need to compile in order to give a compelling application to a landlord, because of all of those things that we don't have. So this morning I've just been going through bank statements, going through old tenancy agreements, past invoices and pay slips, and compiling everything together so it's easier for when I do start applying. And I also rang up an estate agent this morning and just asked her advice on the whole situation, and she was very reassuring. She said that obviously they've dealt with a lot of people who are in a very similar situation, so they know that one way or another we'll be able to get somewhere. It's just we're obviously not in the best position. We're never going to be the number one applicant. And I also booked to view one of her properties this afternoon. So yeah, I've got my first apartment viewing, which is super exciting. And even though I'm viewing it this afternoon, it's not actually available to move into until the end of March anyway. So I'm really starting to think think the sooner the better with sorting this out. And I would rather have a few weeks of overlap between these apartments than have a gap in between apartments, you know? So my plan for the rest of this afternoon is to do a bit more research, I think, on the apartment front, compile some more paperwork. I also need to write a cover letter for us because apparently that can really strengthen your application. Writing a little letter, introducing yourselves, what you do for work, what you do for fun, literally like a job application, but for an apartment that you're going to be paying for.
Sid's not happy to be dragged along to this. I am buzzing. This is my ideal activity.
I don't understand why, like, they need to see both of us.
Because we need to make a collective impression.
Yeah, but can't you just, like, send them a few photos of me? Like, I'll do, like, a video at home.
No, this is like a job interview. We've got to make a great impression on the estate agent.
But, like, surely, because we come as a package, if you make a good impression, they're like, well, surely Sid is really cool.
No, it's not how it works, apparently. It's a competitive market.
So we're back from our first ever apartment viewing, and whilst we didn't love the apartment and won't be applying for it, it was a very useful experience and has made me glad that we're starting this process sooner rather than later, because the viewing wasn't very busy, so I had a chance to speak to the estate agent and she gave us some really good advice regarding our application. For example, because we're both self-employed, technically, a lot of the paperwork that you need regarding employment references, pay slips, doesn't apply to us. But she did say, and this is going to be useful for anyone else that is self-employed and applying for properties in Sydney, which I'm aware is quite niche, but still I thought I'd share. She said that you can submit your invoices, but just to make sure that you're also submitting evidence of that amount of money entering your bank account, so in your bank statements. So that was very useful advice and something that I haven't heard anywhere else or read anywhere else, so hopefully that will help us in our future applications. Looking back at the videos of the apartment, it really doesn't look that bad, but almost as soon as we walked into the building, I was like, no, this isn't the one, because the apartment was literally right as you walked in the door, so you would constantly hear the door opening and closing, and it was next to a super busy road as well, so it was just very loud. And all the videos I took are on 0.5, so it looks a lot bigger, but it just was quite dingy. And yeah, I just think because we're looking so early, we're probably gonna start out really picky, and as it gets closer to April, we're gradually going to care less and less. So yeah, overall, good first experience doing a viewing, but just not the one in terms of the apartment itself. Good morning, it is Thursday today and we've got a very nerve-wracking day today. I've got 2 interviews officially scheduled in now. The first one is at 11 o'clock this morning and it's for the full-time social media exec position that I've already had an interview for. So this is my second interview and I'm going into their office for it. So it feels very official. I've been trying to do some prep for it this morning, but I don't really know how to prepare. They said on the phone when I spoke to them last week that I don't need to do anything to prepare. It's just a chat about my experience, but it's just so scary walking in, just not knowing what they're gonna ask, what they're gonna want to see in particular. I just always love to be over prepared, and for this situation I feel incredibly underprepared, but it's gonna be fine. I've just got to be confident in my own skills and knowledge and ability, I guess. And then this afternoon I've got a phone interview for the social producer position that I applied to last week. So yeah, yeah, I'm just gonna finish getting ready now, try and do some deep breathing, calm myself down, and then head to the office. Okay, I am ready to go, wearing the exact same outfit as on Monday because this is the only workwear outfit that I own. I think I might go and buy some more this weekend because these trousers, for example, I've realised are quite impractical on days like today where it's 32 degrees, but I'm also unsure what's appropriate workwear bottoms other than trousers like this, so please let me know if you have any suggestions, particularly for workwear that's appropriate for 32 degree weather. Okay, I've just finished the interview. I think it went well. Like, I'm happy with how I answered everything. I think just the problem is I'm not as experienced at managing client social media accounts as they're necessarily looking for. So I think that might be the only issue here. But yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see, I guess. I think it went well, I don't know. I literally got back from that last interview, had a super quick lunch, and I've just had my phone interview. She phoned me a little bit earlier than I was expecting, so I was kind of caught off guard, but I'm still happy with how I answered everything and how it went down. The next stage of that recruitment process now is doing one of those online assessments, and I've done a few of these in the past when I was applying for summer internships a few years ago. It's like a 30-minute timed exercise in which you have to match shapes and patterns, do maths questions, do written questions, and I never perform that well on them because I just don't think my brain works in the way that that particular assessment needs it to work. Like, that's not my strength. So that's kind of frustrating because I don't really know how it's relevant to the role either. Like, it's literally a social media content creation role, which I know I am qualified to do, but she's gonna send it over in the next couple of days. So I guess I'll give it a go and we'll hope for the best, but I'm really not looking forward to it. Good morning, it is Friday today, and I don't really know where I left off yesterday. I think I'd just given you an update on how my phone interview went, but after that I went out for drinks in the evening, which was so nice, but I had such an adrenaline crash from the whole day. I don't think I realised how stressed I was actually feeling about both of those interviews. So yeah, once they were over, and literally as soon as I went out, annoyingly, my energy just sort of plummeted, but it was really nice to go and have a catch up with my friends. I thought I'd round this vlog off with an update on where everything's at. So I have a trial shift on Monday for that internship, which I'm super excited about. We're going to one of their clients, which is a pub, and we're going to shoot some Reels content. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm just waiting to hear back from the in-person interview I had yesterday as to whether I am no longer progressing, I've got a third interview, or they want to give me an offer. And then for the phone interview that I had yesterday, the next steps, obviously that online assessment, which I've got to do at some point this weekend now. So yeah, steps are being made forward, which is so nice, and hopefully next week we'll get even further along in the process. I really hope you enjoyed this week's vlog. If you have, make sure to like and subscribe for all the upcoming ones. Also follow me on my TikTok and my Instagram, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!